What will religion be like in 100 years? Hey guys, it's John here. I got a great question that came in, and they actually said random question. I actually kind of like the question, but I will say that before I answer this question, this is not prophecy. I do not prophesy. I speculate, but I do not prophesy. And the reason I don't prophesy is because Joshua himself said, think not about on tomorrow, be here today, tomorrow will take care of itself. So I don't do prophecy. And people often ask me, what do you see for the future? It's not who I am or what I do. So if that's what you're looking for from me, sorry. But let me just read this exactly how it was so you guys get to see the actual question. And I'm going to take a quick drink here. Random question. If you were to speculate, where do you see religion/belief systems in 100 to 1,000 years? I love the question. I love this question for a lot of reasons. But I want to start with an article that I read this morning before I read this question to do this video on today. I was reading an article about how over the past 20 years, the Christian faiths have lost 51% of their audience. The Christian faith is diminishing, is falling away. And it's very interesting to me to have come back to doing spiritual work after a 10-year hiatus in the corporate world. And the reason I had originally left is because people were so superficial and really not getting what I was talking about, and were too interested in who I was and not what I was saying. So I went and taught my lessons with a different vocabulary, not telling anybody about my past life stuff. And when I came back to it around the time of COVID, something really interesting happened. I noticed that everybody had changed. The entire human species is having a renaissance right now, a rebirth. And what's interesting is they're coming into the place of finding their own connection to Source, their own connection to God. They're finding their own direction. They're finding their own divinity. And what do I see religion in 100 years? And I think it'll be extinct. I think they'll be gone because they're based upon ancient people's understanding that they had thousands of years ago. But we have come to greater understandings and greater acceptance in the world. You know, slavery back then was a normal thing, and now it's not, right? When you start looking into all the other texts, you find that there are universal truths within it. Kindness is good. Judgment is bad. Anger, hate, not good, right? Love, the best, right? And when you dive in deeper, you find references to God being love in many different schools of thought. So I think what's happening is things are paring away. I often say that it's a trip we have to unpack for. We have to set down the dogmas, the rituals, the ceremonies, the religions, and come back to just being that one with love, being one with God. And when you come back to being one with love and being one with God, there is no need for a ritual or a dogma. There's no need in the physical world for anything to touch God, because God is with you all the time because you're one with God. And releasing your fear lets you experience God. The Buddha said the secret to enlightenment is the eradication of fear. And the Sufis said that God is on one side of a veil and we're on the other side of the veil, and the veil is our fear and our life is a struggle against the veil. So in other words, release your fear and the veil goes away. So the more we get into this space of releasing all those fears and dogmas and rituals, especially the concept of fearing God, and it's completely antithetical to actually having the experience you want, right? And people are starting to have these experiences. And one of the greatest gifts that I get every day is people saying to me in comments and in emails, I'm overjoyed to have found you, John. You're saying all the things that I've believed for years. Everything you're saying is just resonating with me. I get messages like that every day. And it's so heartwarming to me, because if people just, if it rings true to them and they start to use and follow some of these ideas, the world will change. You know, I think, and this is something that I truly believe. You know, we can't save the world, but we can make our part of the world so bright that the world chooses to save itself. And I think that that's what's happening right now. People are choosing to save themselves. They're choosing to not need a savior, to be their own savior, to step out of their fears and anxieties and into love and doing the right things. And the people who aren't there, they're the ones getting loud right now. They're the ones who are marching in the streets with flaming tiki torches, and because they're losing, and they're terrified because they know they're losing, and they're calling out hate speech and anger, and they're trying to make us all afraid by, you know, carrying guns to voting booths, and you know, it's all just terrified. They're all terrified. They're trying to keep us afraid, and the secret to enlightenment is the eradication of fear. Be not afraid. That sounds very archaic, but there's no need to fear. The less fear you have, the less fear you'll have in your life. Like Swami Narayan said, the lion did not eat him because he was without fear. The lion gave him nothing to be fearful for. So you release your fear, and the world will show you exactly what you put into it. And if you put love into it, your life will be surrounded by love. That I promise you. That I promise you. So what will religion be like in 100 to 1,000 years? What religion? There isn't one. That's what I see. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.